Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. And today I have a very wonderful guest for you today, Erin Craske. She's a commercial strategist and she's a success coach. She's got 20 years of experience and she's got a wonderful portfolio. She's going to talk to us all about her leadership skills, transforming mindsets, elevating brands. And I'm really happy to have her to the show. So, Erin, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you very much for having me here.
Yeah. So I know there's a time difference and there's internet lags, but talk about your background and how you got to be doing what you're doing in your company and your business.
Oh, that's gonna be a very long story. I'm not sure you're ready for it. But basically, I'm coming from corporate background, multinational background, where I spent around 20 years taking care mostly, predominantly of brand and business strategy and also team leadership. At some point of time, I decided that I'm going away from this corporate career and move to a different country. And instead of, finding a new life, I kind of did find it, but it was more like, deep personal transformation that I didn't expect to happen.
Yeah.
And as a result of this transformation, I started writing the strategy guide. And then one morning, I woke up and I had a download that I'm going to be a coach. Honestly, I never contemplated it. I had no idea what coaching is about. I had two coaches before. One was good, one was far. I mean, she could have improved dramatically. But it's not the point. So, after my latest experience, I thought, no, no way I'm going to go back to coaching. Like, no. And then suddenly I have this idea. It's like, you know what? Actually, it feels so good. It feels like home. And yeah, and this is how I transitioned because I didn't know what I would be doing with my life. I had no idea until, I had this idea about coaching, called everybody, and then started studying like there's no tomorrow. And yeah, that's this is where I am now.
Yeah, I love that. And so, we'll kind of transition into the conversation. So, the first thing is I love talking about these things and themes. So, one is transformative leadership, and share a story where your leadership significantly transformed the company or team. Key challenges. How did you overcome it? How did you get it past the goal line?
Oh dear. Oh my God. Feeling like I'm an interview has been a while. In all fairness, I was trained as a transformative leader, but I was kind of in between, and I was in between transformative and authentic because authentic that is something that just closer to me, this is more who I am, while transformative leadership is very much about company, right? It's very corporate. It's everything for the organization, for the benefits of the organization. And I was always a little bit like odd one out. So I was doing things that I felt comfortable with. So that was more authentic. The biggest transformation actually I could achieve within an organization when I switched completely from transformative to humanistic, authentic plus humanistic. When I started taking care of people that were not in a very good situation, when I was trying to understand what brought them to this place, where we can go from this place where they were, what their aspiration, because each of them actually they had their own inspirations and aspirations within business. What are their strengths? How they would like to develop, you know, on top of this kind of personal, individual struggles within the team was also quite poorly performed or perceived within an organization because of how things happened. So I was working simultaneously with the team, but also with wider organization to rebuild the profile of my team. So there's trust, there's communication with different markets, with different departments, and the result of it. Was it possible to do more? It's always possible. to do more, right? It always depends on the constraints and the whole situation. But I can say that, yeah, there's something I'm proud of because people felt better. And when they felt better, they were performing better. That is the end goal. So this is when I realized 100% that all business and all leadership is about people. Forget about company, forget about transformation. Because when you take care of people, people gonna take care of company. But when you take care of company first, people won't reciprocate.
Mhm.
So that's the story.
Yeah, this quite quite a fascinating story. And so talk about ethics and strategy in today's competitive environment. How do you balance ethical considerations with aggressive business strategies and provide examples?
Well, first of all, strategy doesn't have to be aggressive unless you make it aggressive, right? So that is your choice. There's nothing I can do about it. But the thing is, what I find fascinating, I don't remember, I even posted on LinkedIn. It's the fourth time recently that I'm hearing the word balance. That when I'm asked how to balance, it means that you're balancing things that they're not supposed to work together. Is like one of the most, dare I say, stupid. Balance was, how do you balance profit and purpose? Like, why do you need to balance it? Why can't they just coexist? There was something else equally, So ethics is the foundation of the company. You don't balance it with anything because it's the foundation, together with your meaning of your business, together with your value proposition, together with your, gosh, basically the setup of your business. Ethics is part of it. It's your philosophy, right? And you don't balance it. It just sits there. The only thing that you need to do with ethics, when you have it done, when you all believe that this is something that all of us, including the management team, are going to adhere to, then it becomes, again, the foundation of your business. One thing that helps with ethics is to have an ethical committee. It's an organization, internal organization, that brings people from different departments that all sit together and they monitor, they watch, for red flags when the company goes against its ethics and values. Right? So that's one thing. Strategy is absolutely indispensable for business. And although people don't think about it this way at the moment, but here's a very good example. Is like when we talk about wars, why nobody questions a need for a strategy in a war, right? Your business, actually, it's a war. It's a fight for every share point. But in this particular case, strategy becomes totally redundant. It absolutely makes no sense. Or another fantastic example, what we think about people that say something without thinking. Is it a virtue? I doubt it, because basically we prefer to speak to somebody who thinks first and then says something if there's a need to say something. So this is strategy. In business, somehow, we immediately just, throw ourselves into operations and we start change things and we start moving and we start building what we're building, why we're building, what the point of our building. Nobody knows, but we're all very busy doing something, right? So strategy is really necessary if you want to have your business sustainable. If you want to have it operational for a longer period of time than the first 3 to 5 years, or if you want to reduce stress and overwhelm that not having a strategy brings to a business. So it's not about balancing. It's about having ethics because it's easier, because it builds brand reputation, because it helps with employees, because it helps with customers, helps with partners. It makes more the ambiance culture gets more peaceful, more tolerant, more harmonious, and because there are also boundaries. And boundaries means freedom, means that you know what you can and what you can't do. When you know it, you can be free because you know where the boundary, where the border is. And strategy, yeah, it just the whole thing by itself, but must be there.
Yeah, interesting. So, all right. So, kind of next question is, we talk about, purpose of profit, and, you can talk about, your inspiration for writing it, and just, talk about, a couple of key takeaways, and, aligning purpose and profit for the audience where they can find it.
Yeah, purpose and profit, actually, again, because there is no balance between perfect purpose and profit. Both have to be present within an organization. Even if the organization is ethical or conscious or purpose driven, you need to think about that. First of all, you're not a charity, and even charity can't really, sustain themselves just on donations. I don't believe it's enough. But when you have opportunity to grow your business, when it becomes more profitable, if somebody is so much driven by giving, with a profitable business, they have an opportunity to give much more. So one thing, don't shy away from profit. Money isn't evil, right? Money isn't. So that's one thing. And then again, just because I had so many, started seeing a pattern of mistakes that businesses make, because even when I was talking to them, I could see that they don't understand what I'm talking about. They were curious, don't take me wrong, because there's something new, I never heard of, but they didn't know. And because I'm such a strong believer in strategy, there's one thing that is definitely missing. And this is why I decided just to pack everything that I learned over 20 years in multinationals in a textbook or a reference book, and I wanted to make it really easy to read, because you have quite a lot of literature. Either it's very specific, it's like a big marketing thing on one topic, and not many people are going to have time unless you're really into marketing strategy, or you have academic books that some people may find a little bit threatening or uncomfortable to read because they're just a little bit heavy. So I wanted to make it like light, easy, fun, a bit sarcastic, written in a very simple language, and importantly, like bite-sized information, because I don't pretend that it's an encyclopedia, although one actually reviewer called it encyclopedia, which nice, but it wasn't the intention. So yeah, the idea was to give you all basic knowledge you need to know to run a business. And then from this place, recommended literature if you're interested. So this is how, I came up with this idea, just listening to people, understanding what they don't know that I do. And this is how, it happened. And I have to say that by now it has won 3 awards, and I'm very pleased for that.
Yeah, I love that. How can people contact you and find you and follow you and reach out to you?
The easiest way would be to go into show notes and check the link that can't be there. So if you're interested, just click on it.
Yeah, and okay, excellent. Well, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast, and I think it was a really enlightening conversation.
I hope so. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting.